Welcome to the Garlands of Barrington, and thank you for taking the time to learn more about our fine community. For many, today may be your first step in exploring this type of lifestyle option. For others, you may be familiar with the concept, yet new to the Garlands. We'd like to take a moment to share what sets us apart, the Garlands difference. And who better to tell this story than the people who live here, the Garlands members themselves. We think that you will find their thoughts and feelings helpful in planning your own future.
I personally was a little skeptical about the atmosphere that we would be living in. I could imagine being surrounded by a bunch of old gray-haired, crotchety people and required to engage in shuffleboard contests in the afternoons. Well, of course, in the end, that turned out to be a grave misconception. So those fears were quickly dispelled, but they were real.
I think anybody who changes their way of life has some concerns. I was concerned, for one thing, about making friends. I was also concerned with having people living in such close proximity, so many people around me. Turned out that my concerns were totally without any validity at all. I've had no trouble making friends. It's been wonderful. And having people around me has turned out to be a real blessing.
You know, one of the fears that you experience, and I'm not alone in that, is that people are very hesitant to move into a retirement community. They feel some are very regimented. Your meals are served within a certain time, 3 times a day, no substitution. Here's our food, and this is what you're going to have. Here, we don't have that. We live our own lives.
Downsizing felt like it was going to be a big problem. At the time, I was wondering whether I'd be able to do it, but as time went on, it really was not that difficult. I think the worry about it is worse than the actual doing it.
Friends were wondering why in the world we would move to a place like this at our age. And their concept of this kind of facility was it was, you know, next to a nursing home. And the most frequent remark once they saw the lifestyle that we had was, "My gosh, Gil and Kay, this is like the Ritz-Carlton." And you know, in many ways it is.
My advice is look beyond dollar amounts, make comparison of what you're spending and what you're getting, and you'll come to the conclusion that the Garlands is a very good bargain.
Well, it's a good idea whenever you're thinking of making a move to make comparisons, to shop around, and to really know what you're looking for. And we did.
Guillermo and I made a conscious decision to get our life set up for our remaining years. I happen to be 75. My wife, of course, is ageless. But we felt, let's get things squared away now. And let's enjoy the years ahead in a secure, safe, carefree place. It was not an easy decision. It was a real wrench to leave our old house, because that's where the memories were. We still are going through a little grieving for the old place, but that's going away. It's getting more and more comfortable.
At one time, some of my friends had suggested I go into a condominium, but the more I thought about it, I really did not want to make 2 moves. And I assumed if I went into a condominium, if my health deteriorated, I'd have to make another move. So this seemed to answer all those questions.
My experience with dealing with my elderly parents on finding them a satisfactory facility kind of motivated us to move up our timetable. First of all, we were still in good health. we could make this kind of move, the two of us, without burdening our children.
I decided that while I felt mentally and physically capable of making these changes after living in Florida for 20 years, that this would be the time. It's almost like you have a premonition that things should change.
Now that we've lived here for a year and a half, we're beginning to really appreciate the many tangibles that are here. The cleaning staff, to the dining staff, the activities directors, everything. These are things that have become very, very important to us.
There's a huge difference between how life used to be at our old place and how life is at the Garlands. Maintenance was something we did a heck of a lot of, and it became a burden. And we both felt that it would be a growing burden. When we came to the Garlands, the change was dramatic. My personal maintenance responsibilities dropped to 0, so that was great. So I feel a sense of relief. The burden is gone.
One thing that I've really enjoyed here is you can be as independent as you want to be, and yet if there is a need for anything, such as having pictures hung on the wall or a faucet that isn't working or something like that, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call member services, and you get an answer right away. So you're dependent to a certain degree, but it's a very pleasant dependency. I feel I'm much happier not being dependent on my children.
One of the interesting surprises for us, we didn't anticipate it, was the friendliness of the staff. We knew they'd be caring, and we heard all about that, but there's nothing like experiencing it firsthand.
The staff here is excellent. I think whoever hired them just knew they were born for the job.
You don't feel as if they're, making a tremendous effort. They just make it seem as if it's an easy thing to do whatever you ask them to do.
They do it cheerfully. They'll bring my car right up to the front door, then they'll bring my groceries up to my apartment. They told me the other day that I have an oil leak from my car, which I would never have known. They're just great, I think.
They make a special effort to know what your choices are, maybe in the dining room. Okay, if you like oil and vinegar on your salad, they are aware of this. Little details that you wouldn't think would be that important, but it strikes a chord that they really do know what I want. That's good.
So many retirement homes, you eat when they prescribe you to eat. You eat what they provide you to eat. You do not have the choices as you do here. You just don't feel like you're regimented in your living.
I love the fact that I can entertain because I don't cook, even though I have a lovely kitchen. It's made it very nice to have people come for lunch, or their brunches are just outstanding. And I've had many, many people that I've had come for that, and they really like it.
Being able to turn the key in the lock and leave is a great feeling. In the past, we always had to get somebody in to take care of the house, take care of the animals, take care of the yard, all this type of thing when we were gone. I no longer have those worries.
I like to go into the city, and Garland's has a car that they can provide a nice ride to the station.
I call it the stress factor. We don't have to worry about these things. We have a turnkey operation. And of course, all of these personal services take a tremendous burden off of both my wife and myself.
I was shocked when we came to look at it, and we didn't find many people around. And I kept thinking, where is everybody? Who are we? If we come here to have companionship with somebody, who are they? And it's amazing to realize.
Where are they?
Where are they?
Yeah.
People are out doing things. They're at the theater. They're
the Cubs game.
Cub game. They're at tremendous variety of opportunities.
We're very active, very intellectual, very culturally minded people.
It's not a crowded place where you're rubbing shoulders with everyone. Yet, if you want to have association with other people, it's there. It's there at the drop of a hat. We like the friendship and the independence.
One of the things that really shocked me, I think, when we came here as a positive was the fact that there are lots of things to do more than I ever thought, ever dreamt that there would be. Retire means to fall back in the dictionary. You fall forward here. You fall into so many things if that's your choice, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to.
I think there's a well-rounded selection, and you make your own choice. Nobody's cracking the whip at your heels.
There are exercise classes, and it makes me feel extremely virtuous because I feel as if I'm doing something very good for myself, but it's very enjoyable as well.
Exercising is very important to a lot of us here in the Garlands. I swim 3 times a week. My wife, Janet, likes water aerobics, so we're very excited about the pool. It also has an excellent gym with machines for improving your various muscle groups. You can just wheel right on into the pub-style cafe and have a light lunch.
People are not looking at it as a quote-unquote retirement quiet time in their life. It's not that at all. It is, however, protection, and that's what we were seeking for this phase of our life. It is wonderful to have that security, and I don't have to worry, really, about what's going to happen tomorrow.
One thing I particularly like about living here at the Garlands is the security that I feel. I used to worry about myself in my house alone. I had fallen in my kitchen and broken my leg and had to call the paramedics by myself and then crawl to the door to let them in. So I don't have that worry here at all. And I like the idea that there are people around. If anything happens, I can call on them, and they're right there.
That's a very comforting thought, to know that someone is there to assist you one way or the other. Now, that would not be true if you were in just a condo.
One of the additional features of the Garlands for us is Prairie View. Our children live on the West Coast and on the Gulf Coast, and we did not want to be a potential burden to them in the future. And with the ability to move into Prairie View's assisted living, or heaven forbid, the memory loss area and skilled nursing, we thought that this would make us more comfortable and our children much more comfortable.
We don't want to age. They say aging is not for sissies. You've got to be ready to accept what happens. And fortunately, we have those opportunities or those facilities available in case we are in need, and who knows, the future's unknown.
Moving to the Garlands has not changed one thing in my life. It has made it much more enjoyable. I have much more free time. I don't have to worry. We go everywhere. It's just, I changed my address. That's all I did.
Maybe it's the best move I've ever made other than when I got married.
It's a nice feeling to still be running your life.
We love it here. It's a wonderful place to live.
I can't imagine living anywhere else now.
We at the Garlands couldn't agree more. Thank you for taking the time to look into the Garlands lifestyle. If you choose to continue to explore your options, we hope that you enjoy your journey. Rest assured in knowing that others have made this choice with very happy results and are well on their way to enjoying the next chapter in living life to the fullest at the Garlands. We hope that you'll join them.